Let me see if I can do device. Oh, hey. Can you hear me now? I did it on the fly. Look at me go. Yay. I got sound everywhere. I'm not sure. Oh, I know what happened. There was a software update. Never fails. One update mucks everything up. Muck with an M, not with the F-bomb. So, yes. Anyway, so this is Paisley Wild, and we're off adventuring into the spaces between. And I'm being broadcast live tonight on Truth Frequency Radio, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and TalkStream Live, and also on YouTube. Hi, YouTube. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button, like, subscribe. You know the drill, y'alls. And hi, everyone. No matter how you are listening, make sure you stop in and say hi in one of the chat rooms. Or, you know, in the interest of being safe and not chatting and driving, you send me an email at some point at wildpaisley@gmail.com. And that's WILDEPAISLEY@gmail.com. Let's see. You also check out the website. That's www.TheSpacesBetween.com. leo.paisleywild.com. You can reach me through there too. Yeah, Leo, absolutely. The smart machines know more than I do. Oh, say it's not so. It's not so. If you want to support my radio habit, you can do that with the cash tag, and that is $ the spaces between. Yeah, that. If you want to do it, cool. If you don't, that's cool too. I get it. Let's see if I can do the typey and the talkie at the same time. I think I can. What do you know? I'm kind of doing it. Let's see. The call line is open. That number is 213-233-3998. Or if you're across the pond in the UK, it is 44203-393-2871. Let's see. I have an email address. WILDEPAISLEY@gmail.com. Oh, goodness gracious me. It seems like every time I type out stuff like this, like my email address, commercials from the 90s pop into my head. But hey, you should click on this or use that search engine or this or that. And it's just, the random places that my brain will go occasionally. It doesn't make sense to anybody but me. And sometimes not even then. So, yeah. Let's see. If you got another chance to do something else, check out iLife.com. iLife is the official sponsor for Truth Frequency Radio. iLife combines the unleaded, non-psychoactive properties of the ayahuasca with the high-quality CBD. And helps to cure what ails you. Seems like anymore right now, we need to do all the things we need to do, or possibly do, to keep us as healthy as possible because, man, there's a lot of stuff going on out there in the world. As much as I would love to, keep my head down and in the cauldron and ignore everything else, sigh. Life is a reality, and I have to be cautious as to where, I am spending my energy, and making sure that, my broom is not in a no-fly zone. So yeah, just be cautious out there, and use the ayahuasca, drink your water, and don't buy into all the rhetoric that you see online, and stuff. Yes, and stuff. We'll leave it at that. So tonight, we're talking about signs and omens. Last night was a really good show. We talked about wishes. So, just so you know, the next children's book I'm shooting for the 4th of July. We'll see how that goes. To have that one out. And that one's talking about wishes, but for kids, And even though I do say kids' books, I suppose technically anybody who's a beginner on the pagan path, truly it's something that you can just pick up. And for me, just so I'm reiterating and stating my thought process here, the pagan path is a journey. It's a spiritual journey. It's an adventure. It's one of self-discovery and learning about who you are. Now, sometimes as you're on the pagan path and you're learning about things, you find that, Christianity is your thing. That happens. Some find Islam or, Judaism. There's other religions out there. And others find that paganism or some aspect of paganism really resonates with them. And I get it. So that's what we're talking about, is paganism stuff. I am an intuitive witch. I've been a follower of Hecate for a long time. She's been my guiding light for a very, very long time and very protective. And then I also follow Cernunnos. And with Cernunnos, that's another one of those elder gods that has been there forever and a day and has kept myself out of trouble. And, anytime I stop and talk about signs or omens or anything like that, I often think of Cernunnos because he sent me several signs that me, and in my obliviousness, yes, even witches are oblivious, it happens, I didn't realize that's what they were at the beginning. And it wasn't until I talked to a fellow witch and discussed, some of the things that were happening. It's, something that really was like, oh, derp, why didn't I pick that up? Oh, I should have gotten that one. Goodness me. So, yeah. It's just one of those things. It's like once it's pointed out to you, like, oh, that's what this is. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Then it becomes more obvious that that was a sign. And my Groot sprouting was really kind of a big deal. Groot sprouting. So Groot, for those of you who don't know, is my little oak tree. He's about 3.5 years old. And he sprouted from an acorn that grew was dropped from the oak tree in the backyard. And we, meaning Minnie, me, and I, put it on our Yule log, and the seed, or the acorn, popped off the Yule log and cracked, and the root was starting to grow. And since it was sprouted, I figured, well, hey, what the heck, we'll just stick it in a little pot of dirt and see what happens. And lo and behold, Groot's 3.5. So, yes. So, Leo, Wanda, both of you guys, thank you for the kind words. And, when you're on the pagan path, it is really one of self-discovery. And you're going to find, as you're doing research, especially online, that everybody under the sun has, hey, buy this course, or join me here and do this course, buy my book, do this thing, buy my smudge kits, or this or that, or, I'm not a whole lot different. I do have that stuff. More will be coming onto the website in the coming weeks. Again, that's paisleywild.com. And if you really want one of the first books, that's The Wild Pagan, A to Z. If you want a signed copy, those will only be on the website. Just so you know. And I've toyed with the idea of doing like mini lessons or things like that. I'll have the brain space for it more moving forward. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to say it won't. I'm just saying that I'm not sure how it's going to look or how it's going to go. So it's kind of organic in that respect. And honestly, that's the way it should be. It's a path of self-discovery. And in your relationship with the divine, regardless of whom it is that is your divinity, is a very personal relationship. And don't let anybody, regardless of who it might be, your family, friends, loved ones, enemies, media, clergy, etc., don't let anybody tell you that you have to believe a certain way. It is your own thing. Wanda says, the 26th is going to be a big date for turning into the next phase. What is my plan? My plan, wow. So today was my last day at the rock shop in Sandpoint. And 0 Point's awesome. By the way, they're hiring. So if you're in the Sandpoint area and you're looking for an awesome job with an awesome group of people, just stop in and pick up an application, do your thing. And it's only because my journey is taking me in a different direction and I need more time to do my own thing that I'm not there. And I'm going to be working more on my stuff, my own stuff. So like the book, it's a lot easier to illustrate a book if I don't have to stop and go to work. It's also easier to do other things like work on the website or, other books, if I have the time. A friend of mine has asked me to do some more in-depth shadow work with her and some therapy, so I'll be doing some of that. I am a clergy person, so I can do, hand fastings, christenings, funerals, that kind of thing also. So there's probably more of that happening in my future too. And then here locally, we call ourselves Melody Grove, and probably our coven. We call it a circle rather than a coven because we're all encompassing. And probably be doing some more stuff there. The last Sunday of the month, we are doing our regular get-together for coffee, although I'm kind of thinking about doing it at one of the local pubs, if for no other reason than, I don't always want coffee. Sometimes I want iced tea, or sometimes I just want a pint, because sometimes you just need a pint. So, oh, thank you, Leo. I really appreciate that. Leo says, I'd rather get a book like that from someone I know and trust, since it is a special path and want to be led correctly, and I think that you would be great to learn from. So thank you. Thank you for the kind words. Oh, love you. That's, it's really, truly a journey. And self-discovery is a big deal. And sometimes that self-discovery will make you feel a little called out, and sometimes it will make you feel a little bit of that makes total sense to make kind of a thing. The realization, or the oh wow, oh yes, I was right feeling. It's pretty spectacular. So Titan asks a question. So Paisley, I may have asked this before, but can't remember. Does an eclipse affect the making of moon water? So it gives it a slightly different charge, a different energetic signature, and often moon water from a lunar eclipse, especially full lunar eclipse, definitely has a different energetic signature. And I have some from the lunar eclipse from a couple years back during the spring equinox, and that one I use for christenings and the big magic, because it's just got a lot more energy to it. I mean, you can feel it. It's in a tequila bottle because, why not? And it's real, You'll probably want to mark that particular bottle a little differently. Some of those stones that you feel that have had a hard time getting cleansed, or maybe the heirloom jewelry that you want to make sure has released the energetic signature of its previous owners. Eclipse energy, yeah, that's a good time to do it and let it out. I know some people prefer hand fastings during this kind of a ceremony, so there's a bit of a rush, which I get. Like I mentioned last night, I'm really hoping that I can tough it out and do a live cast as the lunar eclipse happens. Maybe have a little fire and just, why not? It'd be fun, right? I understand Don has a portable studio, so maybe we'll just put it in the backyard and see what's going on. Yeah. I do think the energetic signature of our world is shifting. Lucky and I were talking earlier, and she knows someone who was very much an Abrahamic person about a year and a half ago, and since then has really felt the shift. And just like so many, and I'm seeing it at 0 Point all the time. These people coming in and they're just feeling like the energy shifting. What do I do? How do I fix this? And it's like, well, besides hold on to your hat, you're going for a ride. You better go grab your broom. But no, things are changing, and people are awakening. It's not the woke thing. It's something else entirely, but awakening. And it's good. I think it's fantastic that more people are becoming aware of the world around them, the energy in the world around them, from the dirt beneath our feet to the wind that we breathe and the trees above us. It's so fantastic. And the feeling from it is just insane. And all of this I'm leading back to, science and omens. So, about 9 minutes before the break. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and dive in. And if you have questions, by all means, pop them up and I'll do my best. So, like I like to do in any of my shows, definitions, they're real. Signs, well, signs are generally an object, quality, or event whose presence or occurrence indicates the probable presence or occurrence of something else. So a sign is a sign of a sign. Basically, it's, and this is Oxford Languages, also could be a gesture or action used to convey information or instructions. Doesn't matter if it's a noun or a verb, it's the same thing. Basically, so what does a sign mean? Well, a sign is generally a clue that something has happened, or it could be a display of some sort that conveys a message. For instance, a stop sign says stop. In general, though, signs just mean there's something to say. Omens are a little different, according to Merriam-Webster. An omen is an occurrence or phenomenon believed to portend a future event. Yes. Now, depending on your tradition, your path, signs or omens are not necessarily synonyms. They're slightly different. Because some people feel that omens are more bad than good. Kind of depends on how you look at portents in general. So is it a sign or an omen? Well, it varies. So omens are generally something that's perceived to be a good or evil event or circumstance in the future. An augury or foreboding, well, a sign is, generally a visible indication. So according to the Oxford and all that is, well, a sign is something visual, and an omen is something intuitive or intuited. Intuited? I don't know if that's a real word or not. I made it up. Intuited. Basically, it's something has happened and you're interpreting it, is the omen. Now, are there signs and omens and stuff around us all the time? Yeah, sure. You betcha. Do they all mean the same thing? Are they all bad and crazy and scary stuff? No, not at all. Some are quite good. And some are definitely open to interpretation. And regardless, it is all open to interpretation a bit. Because something for one tradition that is a bad thing might be good in a different tradition. Like, say, a raven. For some people, a raven is a mark of death. Death is coming. And for others, it's not. It's a good thing. For me, following Hecate, I have a big belief that ravens are good. And if I see a raven, I'm quite pleased. I have a mating pair in the backyard. Fantastic. That's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. Some traditions feel that the hoot of an owl portends a death, or is an omen for a death, or a sign that death is coming. And for others, it's just a communication from the spirit world. So it really depends upon your tradition. And so that's why I said some things are open to interpretation. So yeah, you just gotta almonds. No, these are not toasted almonds or honey roasted. No, omens. No, I want an almond. I have to do this diet thing because I have these allergies and they suck. I'm whining. Time out. I gotta whine. I'm sorry. I'm whining. I have these allergies. They're driving me insane. It's vexing. And so I have to do this diet, exclusion diet, whatever. Basically, I can't eat anything for the next 5 weeks. It'll be fantastic. I can't wait. There's going to be a lot of water in my future. I should say a lot more water in my future. Almonds are one of those things I can't have, which totally sucks because I love them. And often they help with the migraines. Sad. But, there's a reason for everything, right? I just shouldn't whine about it. Sure. Anyways, there's symbolism is something that comes up along the pagan path all the time. All the time. There's a tendency to look for and to see that symbolism pretty much in everything around you. the way the smoke blows, the way the clouds form, the swirls in your coffee cup, and depending on, how you function or how you truly believe, some of them are going to have more value than others. So generally, omens are natural, something visual, and there's a message included. And it could be good or evil. Remember that, good or evil. It's not the same as divination. Divination is where you're using a divinatory tool. Yes, Leo. There are things that I can work on for my allergies, which I'm doing the not eating much for the next couple weeks, just because I got to figure out what it is. With the almonds, those are actually really good for migraines. So sad. I love them. So yes, divination, use divinatory tools like your tarot, your runes, your pendulum, that kind of thing. So it's different. So animal omens, because they are a thing, animals can indicate something is to come, a significant event. And often those significant events have been death. And that's why some animal warnings or animal omens do have a negative feeling or a negative association. But that's not really what it is. It's just, it's a big deal that's going to happen, and you need to pay attention. Because, let's face it, sometimes we all need the Gibbs slap upside the back of the head. So you can see, oh, that's what that meant. I'm paying attention now. Again, this is why we journal. And I don't journal as much as I ought to. I do journal. Part of my journaling is doing the show twice a week, because I talk about kind of what I'm learning, what I want to learn, and the stuff, and doing the things. And you guys ask awesome questions, and yeah. So if you do see something significant, something that stands out, or if you ask a question and then something shows up. For instance, I had a question I had asked. There's some guidance on here. It's been like 3 or 4 years. It was a choice. It was a yes, no choice. Do I do the thing or not do the thing? Well, okay. Well, I decided to do the thing, and I was hoping it was the right choice. And I asked my spirit guides for a sign, and someplace that I don't normally see something. I opened the door, went to put my foot down, and wow, there's a feather right there. It wasn't there when I pulled into the parking spot, but it was definitely there when I came to a stop and went to open the door. Yeah. It was, just one of those things like, oh, that's the thing. That's the sign. That was the aha moment that I had to have. So, sometimes we do need that little, you're doing the right thing, or, hey, this is exactly what you need. Because, sometimes we all need that reassurance. And that's okay. It is okay to seek reassurance from your peeps. Whether it's the divine or... Oh, wow. Guess what? It's a break time. We'll be right back, guys.
As we will, so mote it be, the spell forever done.
Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. Why? Why not? I mean, do you really hear about the wonders of the world, right in front of you, or do you have to sneak around and listen for them in out-of-the-way spaces? It's more fun to find the out-of-the-way spaces, honestly. So, tonight we're talking about omens and signs. And the first one on my list, this is an article. I'm using it from learnedreligions.com. Now, a lot of the sites I use are multiple religion, multiple tradition, whatever path. Sometimes I talk about the stuff on there and it's like really, really good. And other times I'll get through it and I'm like, oh, you know what? That really sucked. So, but actually this one's pretty good. So, first one. Deep cleansing breath. Serpent magic. So, a lot of people don't like snakes. Imagine where that myth came from and that fear came from. Well, probably because the Bible talks about Adam and Eve and snakes are bad. Now, I don't think snakes are bad. I think they're misunderstood. Spiders. Spiders. No, I'm kidding. Spiders aren't bad either. They're important. Just, we all have our fears, right? Our cautions. They're not fears. They're not phobias. They're cautions. Anyways, snakes. In many states, serpent mythology is a really, really big deal. And is very, very tied to the circle of life. 100%. Death and rebirth. And it shows up, there's snakes biting their own tail is often symbolic of the wheel of not the wheel of the year, but never ending time, infinite time. I'm not reusing the right words, but it's there. And so it's a big deal. And so pay attention to snakes. So if you are someplace where you don't normally see a snake and there is one, well, pay attention. The snake may have some sort of meaning to you. Or, if it comes up in conversation or you dream about snakes. Dreaming about snakes is actually a big deal completely. So pay attention. Definitely journal that one. Sometimes they will talk to you in your dreams. Again, pay attention. Frog magic. Frogs and toads are also often talked about in folklore and in different societies. And they're often associated with a different variety magical properties, mostly because they're very transitory. Yeah, they are both water and earth animals, and honestly, frogs especially, you can kind of tell what the weather's going to be like if you're around the frogs at all. Now, supposedly, toads can help cure warts. No, but okay. That's kind of an old wives' tale. But, sometimes frogs are very much the lucky charm. Very, very much the lucky charm. Sometimes they're used for spirit trips. I say trips intentionally because sometimes the chemicals that frogs secrete onto their skin are very, very hallucinogenic. Some are very, very toxic. So please use caution and research what you're doing before you go and lick a frog. Just saying. It's not for everybody. Yeah. But yeah, frogs are a big deal in magic. For me, frogs are a sign that spring is pretty much here. It's on its way. It's coming. Why isn't it warmer? It's spring because the frogs are singing. I've always associated the singing of the frogs with spring. And I'm happy that they're in the pond because it means they're eating the stupid mosquitoes. Rabbit magic. So spring equinox especially, and Ostara, a big deal when it comes to rabbits, because it's fertility, sowing the seeds, etc., etc. The rabbits are generally associated with fertility magic and sexual energy. So, random thing. Okay, I've raised rabbits. Rabbits are quite the riot when it comes to procreation. And when you say breed like rabbits, that's not a compliment there, guys, but it definitely means that rabbits happen a lot. And you should probably segregate your boys and your girls, or else you're going to have rabbits coming out your ears. So unless your plan is to eat a lot of rabbit, which is good for you, by the way, yeah, it's be careful with the rabbits. Definitely a fertility thing. Definitely. Birds are a big deal when it comes into divination, omens, signs, anything. Birds have often been considered the messengers of the gods because, well, they fly around and they go places that we don't get to go. If I could ever have a superpower, actually having wings would be fantastic. I would love that. I love to fly. So birds, yes, very much a big deal in the pagan path with science and such. Specifically, different birds have different... be more aware of the science and such. So with ravens and crows, they show up in folklore pretty much since folklore started being written down, because it was talked about first. And generally speaking, no, they're not the bad messengers. They're just messengers. And you need to pay attention. If an owl is talking to you, it's a little different. It's still a message. But if a raven and crow is talking, or a raven or crow, a little bit different, is talking to you in your dreams, yeah, that's a big deal. You better be writing that dream down. You don't want to lose that message. It's a big deal. If you have a place where you don't see a lot of ravens and crows and suddenly you have a lot of them, or like I know a gal lives in the DC area and doesn't generally have a lot of ravens and crows in downtown, but about a year and a half ago, she ended up just having her morning coffee, and she had a flock of them land in her backyard. In town, the backyards aren't very big, about the size of a postage stamp, and she probably had 50 or 60 of the dang things in there. And she took a picture. She had them everywhere. Now, she's someone who follows the goddess, and so that's kind of a big deal. There was a sign. There's some, yeah. Yes, that's real. So pay attention. When things happen that you don't expect, especially with the birds, pay attention. So owls, yeah. Owls are another big deal. Owls are often associated with wisdom. They are, and also with Athena. So, sometimes the message is coming from Athena. Sometimes it's just associated with prophecy, because owls can see things that most of us can't, in part because their heads spin around so much. They're not quite possessed, but man, they sure could be. So, again, if an owl is talking to you in your dreams, that's another one you're probably going to want to write down, because the message that the owl is relaying probably has a lot to do with, what's going on, or what could be happening. When it comes to hawks, hold on. Let's see. That's not the thing I thought it was. Go away. I have all this stuff that I've researched, and I have it somewhere, and trying to find it sometimes on the fly is kind of a bugger. So, in relation, with hawks, so hawks are often associated with the planet Mercury, and is a messenger bird. Wants you to be observant and pay attention to your surroundings. Let's see. You need to look at the bigger picture, basically, Leo. Yeah, there's something going on in your space that you need to pay attention to, and take a step back and look at the bigger picture, and so you can see some of the details of what's going on. Because yeah, it's a big deal. So yeah, actually, I love hawks. Hawks are awesome. I had my one of my ravens chase the hawk right out of the yard. It was crazy, crazy. And yeah, if you guys have a specific thing you want me to talk about, mention it in the chat room if you could. I suppose you could call if you want the number. That is 213-233-3998. Weather. I don't know about y'all, but I can often feel things with weather. Really much. I can feel things on the wind. Not so much the cloud formation, so those are fun to look at, but no, yeah, I can feel the atmosphere change. It's bizarre. Sometimes my migraines are actually made worse by the weather. That's something else entirely. Yeah, weather is a big deal when it comes to, magic and paying attention to what's going on around you. So weather magic is a real thing, but be careful if you're going to play with the weather, because there's a lot to it, and it's very, very connected. The weather here is very connected to the weather, say, in Louisiana, and just as an example. So be careful. The butterfly effect is real when it comes to weather magic. So, and a lot of like the folk magic that we talk about, or that you might read about, has a lot to do with the weather, because in the past the weather was a really big deal when it came to just surviving. So there's a lot of magic associated with the weather and being able to determine the storm. Are the storms coming? Are they not coming? Is the rain coming? Is it not coming? Etc. So being able to feel the change in the weather, yeah, I can tell you how many times it's going to snow. Generally, by the second week of winter, I kind of know how long winter's going to last and how many major snowstorms we're going to have. So, yeah, weather's big. Weather is big. Cloud formations can definitely be an omen or an indicator of things. If you study clouds and you look for divinatory hints and such in the clouds, it's called aeromancy. And yeah, it's a popular way of divination. But is the rain cloud really meaning you got darkness coming into your life, or does it mean that you've got cleansing coming up? So Justin asks, would a native rain ritual or dance be considered weather magic? Yes, in my opinion, and that's just my opinion. Now, with the tribal folks, their magic is a little different than what I practice. I'm more European, I suppose, just because that's my roots, Celtic and Germanic. But there is, if you've ever been to a powwow, the tribal folks have the lock on some serious magic. And is it my thing? No, I'm not going to do it. But yeah, there's a lot of power, a lot of energy there. And often that's done under with the guidance of the elders and the healer in the tribe. And so it's not undertaken lightly. It's done with intent and very, very focused intent. Let's see. Omens and science, yeah, they're everywhere. You do have to look for them. They're not always obvious. They're very much in nature, definitely. Trees, Trees are very magical. And yes, trees can send you a message. Whether supposedly, if an oak tree drops an acorn, it's supposed to be good luck, because the acorn is a symbol of strength and power. I have an oak tree. Honestly, he drops a lot of acorns, but the deer eat a lot of acorns too, so I'm not sure how lucky that is. I don't know. Justin says, I notice a lot of similarities between pagan and native practices. Yes, they're elder gods. They're pre-Christian. And so, yes, there are a lot of similarities, because there's... they're not all the same, but yes, there's a lot of similarities. And Titan, if you're seeing 111 or 444, check your angel numbers. You should probably be looking into that just a little more. Let's see, butterflies. Butterflies are generally considered a sign that you're going to have a guest. So a dark colored butterfly might be a sign that you're going to have a visitor that's related to your career, perhaps. Or a brightly colored one might mean you have, a loved one on their way. So it depends. So even within, the colors of the different things that you might see also has an effect with the symbology of the sign or the omen that you're receiving. And, there's all sorts of different traditions and such. Like, if you spill salt, you're supposed to throw some over your shoulder, your left shoulder specifically, to keep the devil away. And that's partly because, why would you spill salt? Salt used to be extraordinarily expensive, to the point where it was a form of money. And yes, the devil stands on the left side. No, the devil is different conversation for a different time. Sorry. Supposedly, you're not supposed to light 3 cigarettes from the same match. That's another omen, because the third person has bad luck. That's one that originated in World War I, when the soldiers were fighting. So whether or not what the causality of that is, if it was at nighttime, that much light could easily make it easier to target you. But it's a superstition, at least. Depending on when the wildlife starts gathering nuts or berries or that kind of thing, yeah, you need to pay attention. Maybe the winter's going to be harsh, or the snows are going to come early. If I've noticed, if when I've had horses in the past, they start getting their winter coat a little bit early. Yeah, winter's coming early. Absolutely, it is. Yeah. So pay attention. The signs are out there. We just need to pay attention. Now, part of the reason why we don't seem to see as many signs as we used to has a lot to do with what's going on. Hold on, time out. So Justin says that I had a dragonfly land on my hat today. What does that mean? Generally a symbol of self that comes with maturity. So dragonflies are associated with happiness, new beginnings, and change. Or hope and change and love. So basically, love yourself. Change is coming. It's okay. There's a new beginning about to happen. And dragonflies are another one of those transformative kind of things. Yeah, wisdom's coming. Yeah. See, Lucky knows what I'm talking about. She's a little macabre in her explanation, but yes. Dragonflies are always a good thing. Yeah, they just really are. But so when it comes to looking and seeing, or looking for signs and seeing signs, Excuse me. It's not because nature or the divine has stopped communicating with us, because that's still happening. The communication is still happening. It's still out there. It's just that mankind as a group isn't as connected with the natural world as we used to be. I mean, hello. How many people are plugged into their cell phone most of the time? 0 Point, downtown, big windows, you can see people all the time. The number of people walking by on the street with their heads down, looking at their cell phone, doing the things, it's insane. It's like, put the phone down, put it in your pocket, take a time out. It's time to take a break. But yeah, it's, if you're not able to connect with the natural world, it's going to be a lot harder for you to see the signs that the natural world is giving to you. If you're not looking around, if you don't look up, how are you going to see birds in flight? If you're not paying attention to the world around you, are you going to notice that the flowers are blooming? Or what the ants are doing? It's really a big deal. So, doing your meditation, is real. You should do that. That is one thing I'm excited to be doing more of, is more meditation. Because, sometimes it's hard to stop and focus on that, not necessarily inner peace, but that place within you where you can just disconnect from the technology, the electronics, the news, the stuff, all the stuff around you, and instead focus on what you can feel, what you can hear, what you can experience, and that's a big deal, because you really need to do that. So Leo has a comment about people not looking up from their phones when they're walking around. That's when you get the paint gun and you just shoot them with the paint gun. Not that you're supposed to, but yeah, it's still kind of cool. That's awesome, Lucky. So Lucky says she was getting some good news when she saw the dragonfly that she saw today. Yes. And Cam, I get it. 3 months. You've gone through those drought periods. You're doing okay now. So, if you are, awake and ready to experience the present moment, yes, the signs are out there. You will experience the things. If you doubt, okay, case in point, excellent example here. So, for Paranormal Portal, for those of you who listen to Paranormal Portal on Truth Frequency Radio or TFR Live or on YouTube, either one, how many of the stories about any of the cryptids start off when I stepped outside for a cigarette? I mean, there's a lot of them. It's enough that it's like, it's a real thing. But so yes. And it's, I stepped outside for a cigarette, and I had about 2 drags in, and I saw the thing or experienced this or whatever. It's because they're not, focusing on the TV or the people around them. It's more introspective, and you're listening to the world around you. You're looking around. You're experiencing the moment. So it's interesting that when the people out there smoking and having the smoke break, they're experiencing those signs and omens because they are unplugging and they're doing the things. And is it weird that they have to have the cigarette for spirit to communicate with them? Yes. But does it happen? Yes. So that's when you see the cryptids, is when you're having a cigarette. It's because that's when you're not focused on the TV or the people you're talking to or your phone or the computer or a book or whatever it is. You're looking outside and you're just, sometimes you catch that thing out of the corner of your eye, like, oh, what was that? And you turn, you're like, oh, hello, Bigfoot, or oh, hello, whatever you just saw. And so yeah, pay attention. Now, if you do have the technology around you a lot of time, I sure hope you all got some shungite with you because that's good for that 5G. Yes, yes, yes. But yeah, we get so lost in our chaotic thoughts. That is so in our ADD thoughts that are inspired by today's technology and today's media. I mean, hello. Watch any cartoon and you wonder why kids are a little ADD? Yeah, cartoons will explain it. Yep. So yes, you know, the world is out there. It's trying to communicate with you. Sometimes you just got to stop and listen. You don't have to have a cigarette because most of us don't smoke, but stop and take a deep breath and look at the world around you. So guess what? Top of the hour, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll do some singing bowl, and we'll continue talking about science and omens. And yeah, be right back. Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. So, during the break, I was listening to the commercials from TFR. talking about the whole pipeline mess over on the East Coast and how they ran out of gas and stuff, and people are hoarding gas. And so I don't spend a lot of time on Facebook these days just because my time is finite. And there's a lot of crap out there. There's some funny stuff too. But anyways, a friend of mine keeps sharing these crazy videos or pictures of people who are filling up gas into containers that really this one person had like cheap garbage bags, and they were supposedly full of gasoline in the trunk of this car. And there's, you could see like 6 of these 13-gallon gas garbage cans, or garbage bags, excuse me, full of gas. And it's like, people, you want to burn something down, explode your car, this is how you do it. Filling up empty laundry detergent jugs with gasoline. It's just, man. I feel like it's the season of Darwin. It's 2021 is the Darwin Awards. Why there haven't been more explosions and people dying from random gas spills on the East Coast, I don't know. I do know gas here locally has gone up about 20 cents in the last week, which is ridiculous. And I'm really glad that I don't have to go anywhere very, very much. Yeah, gas will eat through the plastic bag. Yeah. It's just, yeah. Yeah. I can't even, I'm still chuckling and smirking because I just, yeah. Oh, goodness gracious me. Yeah, they should have stuck to the toilet paper. Exactly, Titan. Anyways, so on that note, we're going to have some cleansing with the singing bowl because the insanity, oh my stars. Okay, I love the singing bowl, but I'm still snickering about the gas in the garbage bags. Yeah, because oh my, and these are the the voting populace putting gas in the garbage bags. Yeah. So signs and omens. So if you see someone with a trunk full of garbage bags full of gas, that's a sign you want to go a different direction and not follow them. Deep cleansing breath somewhere else. Just, yeah. All right, so signs and omens. Dreams. You're going to see signs and omens in your dreams. Often. Often that's exactly where it is. Okay, I had a funny dream the other night. I don't know why, but there were furry armadillos running around, and they kept talking to me. And did they make any sense? No. Is that a dream that had omens in it or signs? No, that was just probably my subconscious going quietly insane for a little bit, because armadillos with pink fleshy bellies, or plushy, like fuzzy bears and stuff. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, it's bizarre. But have I had dreams where there are signs and omens? Yes. Yes, I have. And those stick out like you wouldn't believe. And they just don't leave. And those are, I sure hope you're writing your dreams down. And so if you do have a dream that really stands out and is like, wow, what kind of symbology was that? What are my dreams trying to tell me? What's my subconscious trying to tell my consciousness? Yeah, write it down and think about it, research it. What does the thing mean? Now, your commonplace dreams are the ones that don't make any sense, like fuzzy armadillos. So when you do have a dream that has a sign or omen, it's very vivid, it's very intense. These are the ones that feel so real that when you wake up, you're like, wait, I was just somewhere else. How did I get here? It's like, why, you wake up and you wonder how, what year is it? Those often are the dreams that are trying to give you some sort of message. Sometimes when you're dreaming, people have sleep paralysis. Things happen in your dreams. And it's just, there's a sign. Something is coming, something's changing. And so, there's all sorts of books out there with dream symbolism. We've talked about dream symbolism in the past. Is there some that are pretty broad spectrum? Yes, absolutely. Like owls being wisdom often. But some things are definitely going to be more personal interpretation. So if you feel that owls are scary things because you're afraid of owls, then odds are pretty good an owl showing up in your dream does not mean wisdom. It means there's something that you should be aware of or possibly afraid of. Our dreams work with us, with the tools that we provide them. So it is really, truly you. So don't, if you're... Mud Fossil Gaia says, I dream past lives a lot. Maybe you were a fuzzy armadillo. Maybe. Maybe in a previous life I was a fuzzy armadillo. It could have happened. Leo says, I have the same dream twice but end differently. It's crazy because those ones always come true and I don't remember till after I've lived it. So I've had a fair bit of deja vu type of experiences when... I'm doing the things and I just suddenly, it's like, this person's going to say this and this person's going to walk over here and I can see all these things that are about to happen. It's because I've dreamed it. And it's like, oh, yes, and often I take those as a sign that I am doing the right thing at the right time for the right reason. It's a sign or road mark that I am on the right path. And, is that real? I don't know, but that's my interpretation. And so far, it's been pretty accurate. And if I haven't had one of those deja vu type things in a while, generally it means I am not on the right path. And I need to stop and reevaluate what's going on because I will have them every 3 to 6 months roughly. And if I haven't had one, oh my stars, what's going on? So yes, dream symbology, though, generally speaking, is very, very personal. And the things that have meaning to you are going to show up in your dreams to add credence or weight to whatever message is happening in your dream. So pay attention. Write them down. Yeah. In our daily life, there's going to be stuff showing up. Sometimes, maybe we're zoning out and we just get hit with a thing. It happens. Like the seeing the angel numbers 1111 or 444 or whatever. Maybe sometimes it's serendipity, sometimes it's just dumb luck, it's timing, it's random. But often it's a sign there's something coming up or something going on that you need to pay attention to. Good night, Titan. Yes. If your eyeballs are falling shut and you're falling asleep, put down the technology and go to sleep. you need the rest. Good night, Titan. Thanks for joining tonight. So yes, if if you're looking for something and you put it out there, hey, I am needing to accomplish a thing and am having a hard time accomplishing the thing because I don't have the right tool, for instance, whatever that might be. And you put it out there, it's like, I really wish I had those tools so I could do the thing. I know people where, they've said that, and within the day, they have the tool so they can do the thing. It happens. If that does happen, you need to make sure you say thank you to your spirit guides because, wow, did they, come through for you? But there's synchronicity, and then there's your spirit guides jumping in and saying, hey, this is your thing, you got to do the thing. And often, the synchronicity shows up in ways that are a little different, like, say you go buy a new car. I drive an Equinox. Yes, I'm a witch and I drive an Equinox. I feel like I should be part of a 10-step program there. Hi, my name is Paisley. I'm a witch and I drive an Equinox. Anyways, when I first got my car, I am, looking around, and suddenly it seems like everybody's driving an Equinox. But sometimes, it was the car that just looked like, well, why does the car look like an Equinox? Well, it's because for every freaking car that's a crossover right about now, every car looks the same, for crying out loud. Blah. But yes, they all look like Chevy Equinoxes. Yes, tools to do the thing, Justin. Don't laugh at me. But yeah, sometimes if you're trying to, maybe you're looking for a job, and somebody calls and says, hey, I don't know if you're looking for a job, but I heard of one, and so I was just hoping maybe if you knew someone who's looking for a job, this job is getting ready to hire, and I figured you would know someone. And you're like, oh, well, hey, that could be me. And you apply, and suddenly, wow, Bob's your uncle, you have a job. It happens. So when you're encountering synchronicity like that, it could definitely be a sign, because things they don't happen by accident. There's generally a plan. We don't always know the plan, but generally there's a plan. And yeah, the signs in nature, they happen all the time. It happens. It could be something you see, something you smell. Maybe you've a loved one has passed, and you're just taking a moment to mourn their passing, and you're like, I miss you. I hope you're in a better place, that kind of thing. And then you can smell their perfume, or the type of tobacco they smoked, or their aftershave, or something that's associated with them. Maybe you see it or you encounter it, and suddenly you're like, oh, well, they're touching base with you. They're saying, hey, it's okay. You're going to be okay. That's a real thing. So, sometimes that's maybe a little more tangible, even though it's a smell. That's a sign that, the person you're thinking of, they're still there. They're still keeping an eye on you. Mini-Me talks about great-grandma all the time. Not as much lately as she used to. But, she'll still write the occasional letter to great-grandma and says, hey, can I send this letter to great-grandma? And she knows we have to light the fire. And she burns the letter, and so the smoke can go out, and so that great-grandma can receive the message. Which, is kind of sweet. It's awesome. So, what you're experiencing out in life, what is it? The things you see. Working in the rock and crystal shop, wow. I remember one time we had just put some new stones in the tumbled rock box. And it's about a 3 foot by 3 foot box. And there's generally like 4 to 6 inches of tumbled stones in there. Everything from amethyst to Picasso jasper. I mean, there's a whole variety of stuff. And One particular package that we poured in there was had a lot of serpentine in it. Serpentine's good for healing, and I noticed that there was new stones. I generally avoid that box like the plague because I don't need more rocks, for crying out loud. But it's all I could see was the green from the serpentine. There wasn't that many pieces, but that's all I could see. Basically, I needed to get some. It was a thing. It was calling to me. I had to do it. We have people coming to the shop all the time. They use pendulums. Do I need this rock? Nope. Do I need that one? Nope. Is there anything in here that we need? Yes, no, maybe. And that's more divinatory, but if you don't use divination to see if you need a rock, sometimes things just call to you. I have a piece of Mookite jasper. Mookite jasper is from Australia, from the Mook Creek region, and it's good for procrastination. So yes, I need it. Let's see. Oh, I'm so glad y'all are indulging in the green in the chat room. Unfortunately, Idaho is refusing to jump on the bandwagon. Deep cleansing breath, because there's no puff puff passing in Idaho, supposedly. So, when it comes to signs and omens, how do you know if you've actually received one? Because often we'll see things like, oh, that's pretty cool. Is it a sign or is it not a sign? Like, you see a rainbow. Well, are rainbows a sign or are they not a sign? Is a double rainbow a sign or a triple rainbow? Is it the rarity of it that makes it a sign or not? And so, other than if you see something that's kind of bizarre, out of the ordinary, make note of it, write it down. But, often those signs happen or show up after you've, asked yourself a question, you've got a decision you have to make, or you're considering something in life. It could be you've been thinking about it for a while. It could be you just started talking about it and suddenly there's the sign. Yeah, you guys in chat room. Anyways. Sometimes the signs happen like that. They're just that quick. Other times the signs happen, it takes a little bit. It depends on the type of question that you're asking yourself or life in general, your spirit guides. And sometimes it's a much bigger deal. So yeah, the times are variable there. Or if something happens, all right, Lucky's taking off. Good night, Lucky. I hope you sleep well. Let's see, hold on just a second. If something feels special or meaningful, it could, and you don't know why. You're just like, wow, that was kind of a big deal. What was that? Odds are pretty good. It was really a big deal. So Cameron says, what does it mean when you remember a feat of magic that you accidentally did, then see a thumbnail for your friend's show that you haven't been to in a while, and it's titled Signs and Omens? LOL. Yeah, that's a sign there, Cam. It's been a while. But, life happens, and I get it. But yeah, you feel differently. So something feels like, Wanda, yeah, you feel differently in the moment. You have this instinctual feeling that it's important, whatever it is. Like seeing the car in front of you with a trunk full of garbage bags full of gasoline. It's an important thing that you just saw that, so you don't go anywhere near where they just are. And it happens. So those signs are out there. They really, really are. So sometimes it just the sign or the omen grabs your attention in a really unusual way. It could be the divine, tapping your shoulder, spirit guides giving you the nudge, or the gib slap. I mean, that does happen. Something is so outside of the ordinary, in not just a special or meaningful way, but it's unusual. I don't know. Like last night, if you were listening in at all, we were talking about drunken woodpeckers. Okay, elderberry tree in the front yard. Part of it's tall enough. It's really, really hard to get the elderberries off the top. So I just leave them for the birds because the birds need them too, right? Well, sometimes they get a little. They don't go bad. They just ferment slightly, and we had a woodpecker just totally eating the fermented elderberries. It was funny as all get out. Was it sudden or unusual? No, but it was definitely special. Special, haha. But it was it was funny because that particular season I had made elderberry wine for the first time, and it turned out fantastic. So I kind of took it as a sign that, hey, this is going to work. If the woodpecker can do it just off the tree, I should be able to do it in a bottle, right? Yeah, that gut feeling that you survived it, that you've done this before. Yeah, Leo, that's a real thing. Yeah, because it makes you feel something. You're experiencing it, and it makes you feel it. Because yeah, there's times I've experienced something in my life today, and I'm like, oh wow, that was weird. But I survived it. I've survived it before. I can do this. I've got this. I can overcome this, whatever this is. Sometimes it's more of a relief. Like the light turns green at the right time or turns red at the right time, because sometimes timing is everything. You ever wonder what accidents in life you have missed by being 2 or 3 seconds slow or fast? I stop and think about it. We've all seen those near misses, near accidents. I experienced one the other day. Went to go make a left-hand turn, and I had paused a little bit because I saw a truck coming. I'm glad I didn't pull out, because the truck apparently lost power and was cutting right in front of me, because they knew they were going to come to a stop, because there's a nice embankment there that went up about 20 feet. And so the dump truck was going to stop. I was really glad it didn't stop, with its fender buried in the side of my car. That would have been bad. That is not a good thing. And so, something just made me feel like I needed to wait 5 seconds more. Because you're stopping at the stoplight. You don't have to rush to get out into traffic. Sometimes you need to stop and take a deep breath. Is this really a right turn? Now's the time. So yeah, pay attention. Let's see. Maybe whatever you've experienced has put you into that meditative or self-reflective state. Yeah. Maybe you see something, you're like, I wonder what that means. I need to think about that a little bit. Or, I've experienced that. Absolutely. I've seen it. I've experienced it. I've been there. I've done that. A friend of mine took a picture. She was thinking about her father, and she was taking a picture of the sunrise. And holy cow, it looks like something in the image. And I know the camera she used, and it wasn't the camera, but yeah, it looks like something in the image. And so we're looking at this picture. It's like, what is that? Is it a ghost? Is that a spirit? Is it smoke? What is that? What is that? What does that mean? And she takes it as her dad checking in and saying, hey, I'm doing good. Glad you're checking in. That's awesome. What's going on? What's new with you? So, sometimes that happens. We experience the things, and it makes us stop and pause and reflect on what we just experienced. How does it make us feel? Are we going to be successful at the things we're going to attempt? Are we not successful? What's going on? And since we don't know, that's why we're being self-reflective and meditating on it just a little bit. And yeah, that's definitely something you should be journaling. Mm-hmm. Yep. Because if you don't journal it, you're going to forget all about it. Anytime you think, I'm going to remember this, there's no reason to write it down, that's a sign you better be writing it down, or else you're going to forget whatever it was you were just thinking about. Case in point, right here. I forget the things all the time. That's why I write them all down. Anyways, so it's our last break for the night. Holy cow, it's been a fast night. So I hope you guys are just hanging in there. And got some more stuff to do after the break. And if you have any questions, don't forget to ask. Or send me the email. It's wildpaisley@gmail.com. And thanks for hanging out, y'all. I'm glad you're here. I'm waving at you. It's a sign. I'm waving. Anyways, yes, we'll be right back from a break.
Oh, Lord, within the sun, as we will, so mote it be. Sisters of the shining moon, heaven, earth, and sea, I call upon you in this hour, bring magic unto me. Brothers, oh, the cauldron cries, it singeth unto me the songs of Mother Goddess and of Father in the tree.
Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Well, and we're off adventuring into the spaces between. So, chat room questions. When's the best time to write? In the morning or at night? For journaling and such. Justin says, I can't find it. The time to write. So I try to journal in the evening. So, complicated, Wanda. The answer is yes. And the reason why I say yes is because you should write in your journal whenever you feel compelled to write in your journal. It could be first thing in the morning. It could be the last thing before you go to sleep. It could be right after you eat lunch. Any of those things. Often I'm writing in my journal at night before I go to sleep. Sometimes I'll do a voice note on my phone to kind of remind me of different things I want to talk about in my journal and go over. And then I have to remember to listen to the voice note. But that's why I set an alarm on the phone saying, hey, don't forget to listen. But yeah, journaling's a big deal. And it's probably one of the best tools we have when we're on the pagan path or any journey to spirituality or enlightenment of any kind is journal your experiences. What are you doing? What are you experiencing? What are you seeing? What are you trying? What books are you reading? What's your interpretation of the books that you're reading? Any of that stuff. Yeah, it's hard to find the time to do it. But honestly, how much time do we spend on social media doing nothing at all or playing a video game? I'm a guilty party here, so I'm not pointing fingers. I'm saying I do this. And once you get into the habit of doing it, just like you get in the habit of having that cup of coffee first thing in the morning, and then you need the cup of coffee first thing in the morning. Once you get in the habit of doing it, it becomes second nature, and finding the time to do it is easy. It's not hard to find the time to do the journaling, because often we feel so much better. We feel lighter after journaling, because you're letting the stuff out instead of dwelling on it or thinking about it. Yeah, you let it out. If like you're trying to sleep at night and you're having a hard time sleeping because the things are just running through your head and driving you insane, I've done this too. Instead of focusing on what's driving you insane, I get up and write about it. Put it in your journal. It's like, hey, this thing's keeping me up tonight and I don't know why, and I'm going nuts. What do I do? Well, you write it down, and because it's written down and you're able to think about it later, it's like, all right, so I've gotten it written down. I don't need to think about it. I'm not going to forget about it. And I will read this tomorrow and I will figure out my solution. And your brain says, oh, thank you for paying attention. We're going to go to sleep now. Night-night. Bye-bye. Seriously, our brains love that kind of organization. So journal it. Write it down. And Justin says, yeah, sometimes it's entertaining to read the things back. Yes. I have to tell you some of the journals I had as a teenager. Oh, my stars. How was I so angsty, and how did I survive to adulthood? Ugh. Oh, my goodness. That was a horrible experience rereading any of that stuff. It's like, really? I spent that much time and energy on the thing? Oh, my goodness. Whew. I am better than that. I dwelled too much on that. So, once you let it out, though, you're like, oh, okay, I'm good now. Thanks. And you can move on. And there's an ex that I had, and I got to tell you, there's a lot of angsty stuff in that notebook due to the ex, and I'm not the type to take my angst and turn it into music. It's just not how I am. I'm not Taylor Swift. And so the cathartic feeling of burning that notebook after the relationship ended and I grieved and got through the whole process, wow. Talk about feeling lighter and able to move on. Yeah, big deal. Yeah, journal at night to calm the mind. Absolutely, Leo. Yeah, teenage years journals. Oof. Kind of like, I'm really glad social media and cell phones was not a thing when I was a kid. No. Would I have done some of the things that my own boys did? Probably not. Probably not. I'm going to leave it at that because I won't say no. Just probably not. Maybe. I don't know. But I'm really, really glad social media wasn't a thing when I was a kid. I feel kind of bad for the kids nowadays that's trying to figure out the social media and doing the things. Wow. They need to put the social media down and just go be a kid for a while. That's real. So, what happens if you do have a sign or an omen? Well, first off, once you realize that that's what it was, say thank you. Acknowledge it. Express your gratitude. Give an offering to, the energy that, gave you the sign. It's like, whoo, thanks for making me stop an extra moment at that stop sign so I didn't get T-boned by that idiot that just blew the red light, I've said that out loud. That deep cleansing breath, like, man, am I so glad I decided to change the radio station before I went forward. Sometimes that split second is exactly what keeps you from being in that wreck. So, yeah, say thank you. Yeah, express your gratitude. That's real. Think about it, What does the sign mean? What does it mean to you? What does it mean to your loved ones? Your friends, your family? Anything else around you? It's... what does the meaning of your sign and how does it affect you? Is it going to change what you were going to do? Does it help you make your decision? So yeah, contemplate the meaning because that's real. If the world or the universe, the energy, whatever, has given you the sign, you should probably stop and think about what it means. And why is it being shown to you? Yeah, journaling. Yeah, journaling. Journaling's a big deal. I myself need to do more of it. I think most of us need to do more of it because, yeah, it's a powerful tool to help us move through life in general, not just with the signs and the omens and all that, but just life. Observe what's going on in your world in the next couple days, months, weeks, whatever it has, years. When COVID hit, for instance, back December or November of 2019, it was being talked about in the world news. Wasn't really being talked about in the national news. But because I do pay attention to the world news, heaven forbid, I knew it was going to be a big deal. I didn't know it was going to be as big as it was or impact us the way it has, but I knew it was going to be a pretty big deal and things were going to be different afterwards. We're not to the afterwards part. We're still the transitory period through COVID. Life will be different afterwards. For some of us, it's going to be great. The whole work from home thing, something that we should have been doing 10 years ago, we're suddenly able to do it because everybody has to do it. I think that's good. I think the infrastructure for the internet is going to become better. I think that's a definite plus coming out of COVID. It helped a lot of families refocus on the family unit because everybody wasn't going all the places and doing the things. I think that's been very good too. When COVID started, I got to stop and evaluate what I was doing. Was I in the right job or not? Was I doing the right thing or not? And yeah, it's interesting. Wanda says some people only write facts, not feelings. And she believes that feelings have to be expressed in the journal. Yeah. If you say, well, the sun came up, that's a fact, you better, by golly, be putting how you feel about it and how is it impacting you. Yeah. Creative writing projects. Yep, that's very good. Very cathartic. You are right, Cameron. Absolutely, 100%. So, how do you know what the sign means? Well, did you meditate on it? Did you write anything? Did you journal it? And the reason why is because, after it happens and you've journaled the sign and whatever it was indicating, you know, it's happened. How'd you react to it? Did it play out the way your intuition told you it was going to? Was there a deeper meaning to it? What happened? It's like, often, like if I pause that extra moment or two at the stop sign because I decided to adjust the radio or something before I pull out into traffic, and it saved my bacon, well, I'm pretty much immediately grateful. It's like, woof, baby, am I so glad that I did not pull out into traffic, because that would have crunched the car and that would have hurt and it would have been bad. Yeah. So, there's that. Or sometimes I just turn the music off. I don't listen to the radio. I don't listen to anything. I just find sometimes that my thoughts are what I need to hear on the drive home or drive somewhere. And because I'm not distracted by whatever's going on the radio or talking to somebody on the phone, because I do have hands-free, safe driving, remember. I'm sometimes more aware of the traffic around me. Not always, but sometimes. And so I often miss getting hit repeatedly, which I'm really glad that I'm paying attention, because for crying out loud, I don't have a hit me sticker on the bumper of my car. Deep cleansing breath. So, as you are paying attention to the world around you and you're focusing on the esoteric more than the material, suddenly you're experiencing more. It's like the colors are brighter, there's more of them, and that awareness often leads to healing of self, spiritual self, physical self, emotional self. And yeah, I really feel that the pagan path is one of spiritual adventure. You are learning about yourself on the pagan path. Let's see. Cameron says, sometimes I find the answer in the sign is related to the personality of the deity trying to speak to me, like a raven eating the Pope's dove. LOL. Okay, Odin. So, we need to pay attention to, the present moment and not stress so much about what's happening tomorrow, or, thinking about what happened yesterday and how we could have done things differently. Sometimes we need to just let yesterday be yesterday and tomorrow be tomorrow. If we are always worrying about tomorrow, we forget to live for today. And so journaling and paying attention and being more aware of the present, that helps you be more connected to the now. And it's not just your ego, it's you feel more in tune with the world around you, and what you're experiencing and what people are experiencing, and your family, and that whole connectedness. And that's a big stinking deal. So yeah, pay attention. What's going on? How are you? How are you feeling? When you have the sign? And often I'm like, oh, thanks for the sign. I appreciate that. That's a marker. I'm doing the right thing at the right time. That's fantastic. And then after I experience whatever it is, I'm like, you know what? Thanks for the heads up. I paid closer attention and I got more details. And it's not as bizarre. It's more understanding. And, sometimes, yeah, it's hard to figure out what the signs mean. And that's why we journal things, because often those signs are going to repeat, especially if you work with the same deities over and over and over again. For instance, Odin or Hecate, both of them work with the ravens. If I see a raven often, I know it's a sign. Or a bunch of ravens, a murder of ravens. It's like, oh, that's what's going on. I paying attention, or that kind of thing. There's a message coming. Pay attention. Focus. What is it? Write it down. The time of the day, the weather, the energy of the atmosphere around me. All those things have impact to our spiritual path and what we're trying to accomplish. And we just have to remember to pay attention. Take a step back, go outside, light your imaginary cigarette, and look for the cryptids, because they're there. The magic is there. The deities that we work with, yeah, they're there. They're just waiting for us to say, oh, hi, how's it going? Thanks for pointing that out to me. Or, oh, hey, I'm here. I'm ready to learn. And sometimes, yeah, you need the Gibbs slap up against the back of the head. Like, oh, wake up. It's time to pay attention. And other times it's like, a gentle poke. Let's see. Cameron says, yes, sometimes the sign says, yield, something strange is coming. Have fun. Yes, absolutely. Let's see. So Justin had a question about dreaming. Often he wakes up because I think someone is yelling my name, or there's a loud knock on the door or gunshot sounds, but they aren't really real. So when he wakes up, none of that's going on, but he's feeling it. Well, anxiety comes to mind. Someone's trying to get your attention. So maybe meditate on that. Like, someone's trying to get your attention and wants you to focus on something that's going to happen or something that is happening. And it's time to take a step back and figure out what it is. Because, yeah, sometimes the divine is, they're not whispering in our ear. They're not giving us the gentle nudge. Yeah, like Leo says. Sometimes it's a 2x4 against the back of the head, trying to wake your ass up, or the boot to the butt. Yeah. Sometimes we need all of the nudges, plus the coffee. Sometimes we need to be drug kicking and screaming to acknowledge that there is something going on there. It's just a matter of trying to figure out what it is and seeing it for what it is. So yes, Justin, if you're dreaming about someone yelling at you or knocking on the door, yeah, there should be some other things showing up in the dream. Like, what kind of door? What kind of voice is yelling at you? Is it male, female? If, is there anxiety or anxiousness in the voice? Is there anger, or is it happiness? Are they happy to see you? Is it one of loss? And stop and think about it. That's why we journal what's going on when we have a dream. And try to put as many of the details in there that you possibly could when you're journaling it. It's like, hey, so I had this dream, and these are the things that happened, and this is how I felt. This is how I felt afterwards, and I had this taste, and the headache, and I heard these things, and oh my goodness, because it's all related. It's all part of the situation or the scenario that's running through your brain at that particular moment. As the download that's coming to you. Mixed feelings about using the word download, because it's suddenly the new woke word, which, yeah. But yeah, like Cameron says, do some research. Your ancestors might be trying to talk to you. Yeah, they may be trying to give you the swift kick to the butt and tell you to wake up. What's going on? So, what's going on? Write it down. I sure hope you're journaling that. What time of day or night is it that you're getting that kind of a wake up? Because even the time can have meaning. Not even. Definitely the time is going to have meaning, because, yeah, it's real. Let's see, what else? So that's kind of all I had for omens and signs. Any questions? Are there more questions? Yeah. Do your research. Mm-hmm. Yeah, let the Palo Santo burn, the sage. And that may be it, Justin. Maybe you need to burn some sage, not some green. Mm-hmm. What word? I don't know. Let's see. Trying to think. Was there anything else? Omens and signs. Yeah. And it's funny. Omens and signs are things that people have seen throughout history. It's not a new thing. Signs and omens, yes, absolutely, always there. It's the harder part is sometimes, not sometimes, but generally speaking, the harder part is interpreting it and seeing what is it. What's it mean? What's happening? Let's see, what am I looking for? That's what I want. So, I'm trying to find something real quick. See if that'll help with you, Justin. If knocking, the new woke word, download. Sorry, Cameron. Because people say, "Oh yeah, I just had a download today," and blah 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 blah. I'm like, nah. It's me. It's like it's the new. Are you woke enough? Yeah, it's just today's lingo. So knocking on the door is generally your subconscious trying to attract your attention to some aspect of yourself or some situation when you're awake. Perhaps a new opportunity is going to be presented to you, like opportunity is knocking at your door. Or sometimes there's the habit or behavior that you should not do anymore, so knock it off. So just Justin, when it comes to knocking on the door. For yelling, yelling could be anger that's being repressed. So if it's you that are yelling and no one hears, it means you're feeling overlooked. Someone is yelling at you. There may be something in your past that you're still trying to let go of. And let's see. And the gunshot. Hold on. Yeah. Just trying to get to the spot. Let's see. Yeah, it's again that hidden anger. There's the gunshots. You might be feeling victimized, or you might be feeling targeted, or you're trying to blame someone. So it kind of depends. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there. Dreammoods.com has a dream dictionary that has a lot of really good information in it. Let's see. There you go, Justin. Now, do I use this website exclusively? No, but it's a really, really good place to start when you're trying to figure out what's going on in your dreams. Is there a fuzzy armadillo? I just want to see now if there's fuzzy. Just because it was funny, okay? There's a fuzzy armadillo. So fuzzy generally means the last word. Something I need to confront, or something I'm refusing to see. Or if I'm dreaming of a soft or fuzzy texture, it means there's a warm or welcoming situation. Apparently I like armadillos. Who would have thought? Seriously, armadillos. I'm the only person I've ever met that dreamed about an armadillo. Yeah, Justin, sounds like someone's trying to get your attention to be alerted to something. You need to pay attention. So, what's going on in your world? Meditate on it. Think about it. Talk it out with Mrs. Justin and see what it is that is happening. If you think your significant other doesn't pick up on things, just in general, it doesn't matter if you're a guy or a gal, if you think your significant other doesn't pick up on things, you're misleading yourself because they do. They're hearing the same thing you are, but they're interpreting it in an entirely different way. So, that's the end of the show for tonight. I hope you all have a fantastic week. We'll be back next Friday at 9 p.m. here on TFR or on YouTube. And if you have any questions, send me the email at wildpaisley@gmail.com, or you can always reach me at paisleywild.com. And so thanks for joining. Merry meet and merry part and merry meet again. And I hope you guys have a fantastic week, and we'll talk about the full moon next week. Yeah, I think it'll be great.
Yo, Lord, within the sun, as we will, so mote it be, the spell forever done.